All right, good morning. We are going to do a demonstration of programming with the color sensor. All right, here's our thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up. I know I had some encoders going. So I'm going to do my encoder drive program, and I'm just going to hold this in the background because I want to get some of this program over. Now, I'm going to go back to my console. And I'm going to start from scratch here. I'm going to create a whole new program, and I'm going to call it color. I'm going to call it color sensor demo, and we're going to start it over here to. And I'm going to look for one. I'm going to do one of the pre-starts, which will save us a lot of trouble. I'm just going to go over here. I'm looking for sensor rev color distance. That's the one. You have created that, and now we are here. And it gives me all this amazing code here. A lot of it is telemetry, to where it's telling me different values. It's created variables that are holding different things. There's color, hue, saturation, and value. We care about hue, because hue's going to give us a value between 0 and 360 that your computer can turn into a value and then make some decisions. All right. So okay. So in a minute, I'm going to test to make sure this is working okay. But for right now, I want to go get my encoder code from this program so I can use encoder. So all I'm going to do is Control C, dump it over here, Control V, and there it is. So I just brought in my drive with encoders function, and I can use that. Do I have anything else in here? Ooh, I also have a turn right and turn left. Might as well grab those. Because I've already done the work, why do it again, right? So I know I can now have things drive forward. I'm using this one, and I have a turn left and a turn right. All right, so now I'm going to test this and make sure everything is working for a second. And what I'm going to do is I am simply going to see if my encoders are working properly. All I'm going to do is go down to my functions, which I created. I'm going to put it before my while loop. Why wouldn't let me get it in there? Right there, because I don't want to do it a bunch of times. I go over to math, get some numbers to put in here. Duplicate that. Oh, I hate how they like put them in a random spot. Duplicate that. And let's have it go forward. Let's see, I want it to go from there. I'm going to say 1,700 ticks. I'm going to go at half speed so I don't skid all over the place. All right. And then you will go ahead and start the program. Okay, so it did not go straight. Can anyone tell me what the problem was? What did I forget to do at the very beginning of the program? You have to reverse one of the motors. Rookie, mistake. I'm just going to go to actuators, DC motor, and I'm going to set, let's see, I'm going to believe it's my left wheel. This might be wrong. I'll change it. Okay, let's try that again. I want it to drive right to where the colors are. All right, that's pretty good. So then let's say I'm going to test out my turn left and turn right. So all I'm going to do is, I already have them. I'm going to make it turn right. I'm just going to see if it's working. All right. All right. Okay. All right. I think you ran it before I saved it. All right. Do it one more time. All right, now this is just proof of concept to make sure my encoder program is working okay. So it should go, and now it should turn. Okay, great. And then my goal is it'll go to the blue square if there's a blue paper, and red square if there's a red paper. Now, how do I have it checked for color? This is a little bit trickier part. So, I'm going to say, all right. And one other thing I want to do is I'm going to disable these for just a moment. Disable. Emmanuel, I'm going to suggest, I'm going to go to functions and create a new function called, I'll call it like check color. All right. And what I need to do is I need to have a while loop going that keeps checking it until it finds a color, and then it ends the while loop. So here's how I do it. I just go over, all I do is I go over to loops, and I'm going to get a repeat while. All right. And I'm going to say, and I'm going to use this one called true. It's under logic. So this will essentially repeat until I break out of the loop. All right. And then I'm going to get an if statement. I'm going to say, okay. And then I'm going to have it check for a couple things. Let's zoom this in a little bit. All right. Yep, I'm going to go here. I'm going to put an else in there. So I'll check for two things. All right. So what we're going to do is we want to check for that hue. Okay. All right, we want to check for that hue value. So I'm going to find where it was. I was like, okay, where was hue? Let's see. It looks like it is here, right? So I'm going to use an if. I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to use two of them, I think. I'm going to go over here to my math. Where do I need logic? I think I need logic. Yes. So I'm going to use a greater than or less than here. I believe it's under logic still. And then let's duplicate it, and I'm going to use a less than. So these are my checks. I'm going to see if it's in a range. And I believe if I just go down here to my variables, look, there's hue just hanging out. All right, I'm going to get some numbers in here. So first I want to check for blue. So I'll say, okay, if it's greater than 160 and less than, I'll say 240. I don't know. So I'm creating a range, because like, what if you get a slightly different blue? All right, and if that's the case, we want it to turn right and go forward, right, over to the red one. All right, so let's see. So if these are true, all I'm going to do is, hold on, I'm going to duplicate some code, my encoder code. And I'm going to, I want it to turn right first. That's under my functions. Remember, the functions were like the dance moves we made, right? So if it's blue, I actually want it to turn right and then go forward. All right? And then after that, I want it to break out of the loop, because I don't want it to keep turning right and, forever. So I just want it to break out of the loop. So all I'm going to do is go over to logic, or loops, I guess, and I'm going to break out. So this will just keep going until this becomes true. It'll do these things. Now, if this is not true, it skips it. Now it'll do this, and it'll also check. I'm going to duplicate once again. And now I'm going to check for, actually, I don't like this. I'm going to get rid of my, I'm just going to do two if statements, just to keep it a little bit simpler. I'm going to say, okay. Now, I'm going to say, okay, if it's greater than 0, I'll do greater than or equal to. And if it's less than, I'll say 60. That means my value is red. And then all I'm going to do is turn left, and then I'm going to drive forward. All right, now, will this work? We shall find out. All right, so just so you know, go away. So now it's going to check the color. This is checking for blue, because blue, turn right and drive, then break out, and end this decision. And then if it's red, now by the way, if both of these are false, it'll just keep checking. It'll just keep checking. All right, and that's kind of what we want for now. Now, one other thing I have to do is once it enters this while loop, nothing else is happening in my program. So I need it to update the sensor, and that's what all this gobbledygook is over here. So this is like a whole mess. So watch, I'm gonna do one more little trick to make this better. I'm gonna create one more function, and I'm gonna call it update update color sensor. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of this mess and put it right inside here. All right. Color. I don't think I need that. Maybe I do. Undo. I believe that needs to go down here too. So look at all this code. It's a lot of stuff. So all I'm going to do, oh my God, is put it in here. So remember we had the dance moves. I created these functions. Oh, what is this? Oh, this while can go away. All right. So what I've done is we've created these functions, but we have to call them now. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, okay, first of all, let's enable this again. All right, we're going to drive forward. And then we're going to check the color. And when I check the color, it's going to drive over. And there's one other thing I have to do is I need to update the color sensor while it's checking. I'm going to put it right here inside it has to be in the while loop. Remember, this is looping until we hit a breakout. In code, if you have this while loop going, it says while true, it'll keep going, and as soon as this it hits this, it'll do these things and then break out. All right, so let's see if this works. This could be a little bit of an adventure. All right, I'm going to save this. All right, so let's do blue first. It's going to go. Okay. All right, did you guys see what happened? Yes. I think it actually saw the red, right? So that might have been good. Let's find out. Can you do this again in manual? Set it up, but this time take the red out from underneath. So it's going to drive, check the color, and inside the check color, I have it make its decision. It either turns right and drives or turns left. Okay, ready? Are we ready? Try it again. Let's see how blue works. All right. So it looks like it's not catching it. Can you?
Oh yeah, I got angled it.
All right, try a different position. Let's see what we got. Now it's defaulting to red, so it looks like probably what's happening is the gray is registering as red. So let's see if we can do this. And can you watch that hue value and see what it's saying? All right, here we go. Try it again. All right, it's sensing it. All right, it's thinking right now. What's the hue value? Huh?
240.
240. Oh, is that 240?
Yeah.
Well, I can see why it's not working because I said less than 240. So if I change this to less to or equal to 240, it should work better. All right, try it again. But that was good. It was stuck making that decision. And because neither of these were true, it was just kind of stuck. All right, let's try this again. Now turn right. Yes! All right, it made the correct decision. All right, let's try it with left now.
And red.
All right, put the red one down. Now, one thing I don't like is that it was turning left even just from the, listen. All right, keep an eye on that hue value for me. All right, you ready? Go ahead and run it. All right, not bad.
0.
What was it reading?
0.
It was reading 0.
Mhm.
All right, I think 0 is in the red range, so I think it is working. How about this? Do it with nothing. And tell me what hue it gets. Because in theory, if there's nothing, it should just
It goes
keep
default.
looking. So let's do. We haven't created a default for it yet. We would in real life, but I want to see if this is working. All right. All right. What's the hue value right now?
0.
It's still 0.
Yes.
So the gray is registering as 0. That is interesting to me.
The black.
So I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on with that. There might be a setting, but it is understanding. It looks like it's just gonna do red by default, but it is working with the blue. So I'm gonna probably go back and take a look. But this in general is what you need to do. Quick review. I took all of that mess that was in there and I put it in a special function called update color sensor. And what's great about it is now it's out of our way. All right. And then I updated it inside this function called check color. All right. And inside there, I'm checking it. And it's like, okay, it's checking to see if the hue colors are in a range. And if they are, if it's in the range for blue, it goes this way. If it's in the range for red, it goes this way. And I have a turn left and a turn right just to make my life easier. And I'm using the encoders up here that I pulled from my other program. All right, and that is it. So this is your journey today. If you're having trouble getting your color sensor working at all, come let me know. I'll help you get it going quickly. All right.
Yes.